You are watching an Al Bear review. Cue the music. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, be sure to subscribe. Everybody, be sure to like, comment, and share. I'm here with the Empire review recap. I'm just ready for this show to go off. I'm only doing it for Jesse. That's the only reason why I'm doing it. But however, it just seems like I'm just curious to know how they're gonna write him off. And right now, it just seems as though they're gonna write him off. Him and his man Boo, they go off into the sunset because in this episode, they basically let the family know, like, hey, we tired of wedding planning. We ready to just be married already. We just gonna go ahead and get married sooner the better type situation, So it almost feels like they and I understand, he's a huge part of their audience. I really forgot that, his character was honestly. It's really only three characters that really make the show go, and that's Justin, Cookie, and Lucius. We could definitely do it without Andre. We could definitely do it without Hakeem. Hakeem's role has been minimized, especially this season. They're trying to, do a little bit more with Andre's role, considering they gave him cancer and all of that stuff. But Just is a huge part of the TV show. Now, like I said, I forgot about how important he was to the show, how big of a character he was to the show. He can't just be replaced like that. So I do think they will write him off in a way where basically, they can write him back into the script if need be, because the show probably would lose numbers. And I'm surprised the numbers for this show this season isn't as great as I was anticipating, given the whole speculation of how they would write him off, which is basically the reason I'm here. I'm only here to see how they fire him. But yeah, anyway, so this episode, the show kicks off with Andre, he's going through his trial treatment. He has lymphoma cancer, and they done figured out this whole experimental drug that that they're doing on him. So basically, they, he looking back. By the way, Andre is doing one hell of a job of acting as if he really does have cancer. He is definitely looking the part. The only critique that I would have about Andre is the fact that he still has his hair. So I don't know if that was a no-go as far as him having say-so in how this role would be portrayed by him. He'll do any and everything except shave his head bald. But other than that, I feel like he's doing a wonderful job of acting as someone who's been diagnosed with stage 4 lymphoma cancer, just any type of cancer. He is actually doing a great job acting as if he's tired. He's very ill. He has little to no energy. He just only thing he can do is kind of just lay there and whisper when he talks, because that's probably just the amount of strength that he has. A person who has cancer has to talk. It's just a lot of whispering because you're so fatigued. So he's doing a great job. So anyways, his girlfriend Terry, Lucius, Cookie, they are there with the doctor, trying to just get a little insight of where he is, progress wise, what to be expected, how he is recovering, or is he recovering? Just asking all those questions that doctors really don't have the answer to in the moment. They only have the answers. The only answers that they have are the answers from his last PET scan or CT scan or whatever type of scan they got going on. So long story short, let me get off my soapbox because I'm kind of just rambling on about how about that. But anyway, so Lucius and Cookie excuse themselves and go upstairs, and Cookie just really wants to voice her weaknesses. She is enduring a moment of weakness to where she just does not feel confident, and it's really because it's the unknown. No one likes to be dealing with the unknown. You know what I'm saying? She does not know if her son is going to be able to pull through and live. So, she kind of goes into thinking worst case scenario that Andre is about to die. And Lucius immediately looks at her and screams, "Cook, you can't be thinking and talking like that. That's not what he needs. That's not what his family need. Leave that type of thinking and talking. Just put it and shove it." You know what I mean? And, I don't know how, I'm just thinking back to when I was going through my fight. I really was just thinking about myself and my recovery. I never really thought about those around me, how it affected them and how they were, perceiving or, taking in what is going on. I don't know if they was looking at worst case scenario, but however, just on the outside looking in, no one really wants to speak, death into existence. So I understood what Lucius, what he was saying and where he was coming from. However, in a moment of weakness, in a moment of just wanting to be vulnerable, in a moment of just wanting to be heard from Cookie's standpoint, I understand where she was coming from. She just want to air out and air out, yell out, and embrace this moment of weakness and vulnerability to her spouse, Lucius, her husband, and he didn't want to listen because he said that is not the way to go. Understand both sides. I'm not going to pick a side because I don't know, how it feels to be on that side. I never want to know how I feel to be on that side. Furthermore, so anywho, she storms out, leaves, Cookie. But before she leaves, she said something that was just kind of like out of line, in my opinion. She's saying, "So I have to sit here and listen to you ramble on and on and on about your son, Kingsley, that I knew nothing about, but I can't ramble and express my emotions and my feelings toward the son that we both share, Andre, and the fight of his life." I was just like, that's just so uncalled for. Like, Kingsley come out of nowhere because Lucius was basically, and why she said that was because Lucius basically, he's feeling like this is karma. He's feeling like this is all on him. He is feeling as if he can make amends with Kingsley, however you say that little white boy name, that all of their bad luck with Empire as well as Andre health, all of it will be resolved. And I do, last episode, 2 episodes ago, I did love the advice that Damon Cross gave Cookie when he let her know that you are not that important. It does not matter what you feel like you should and can do. You are not that important to where any action that you try to complete or take on is going to heal your ill son. And I do feel the same way with Lucius at this point. Like, bro, you was not that important. Your dirt has nothing to do with this. And I'm always telling my girlfriend, I always telling my friends and anybody who will listen, I just do not believe in karma, because it is not a consistent act. It's not a consistent deed that is done to everyone who probably deserves it. Just my personal opinion. Don't beat me up by it. But anyway, so Cookie, she storms out. She goes to see Damon Cross. Damon Cross has become her confidant because he gave her a BS story about how his daughter, has fought the tough fight of being a cancer survivor, of being a cancer victim, as I should say, and now she's on the other side and she's a survivor. So she has developed a friendship of just going to him and being able to vent because he went through allegedly everything that she's going through at this moment in time. However, I do not believe it. I believe he has specific intel about what's going on in her personal life and the fact that he wants Cookie. This is a ploy for him to reel Cookie away from Lucius. That's just what I believe. Now, I do understand. I'm going to hit this show real quick, because ain't nothing going on. I do understand later on in the episode, she kind of broke it off with him once the doctor came back and told. And it's a shame. Hold on. No, let me say that. She broke it off with Damon Cross once the doctor told her that, hey, listen, after this next treatment, we believe Andre will be cancer free. So now she's like, bro, I don't need you. My son about to be cancer free. He about to be, his illness is about to be swept away. I don't need you hearing my pity emotions. I don't need you, comforting me when I'm at my weakness. I don't need you to listen when my husband won't. And I'm just like, oh, okay, Cookie. That's how you gonna do. You gonna use me until you don't need to use me no more. That's messed up. You know what I'm saying? So, but nevertheless, I know Damon is not gonna let Cookie go just that easy. So anyways, moving on in this episode, the FBI, basically they get Kingsley to cooperate into wearing a recording device to basically try to get Lucius to incriminate himself on how he was able to get those funds from the bank account in Panama and use it to fund the Empire tour. Now, they have zero proof, all speculation, but we all know a lot of times, and in the FBI case, speculation is probably 99.9% correct. And in this, and they are correct. That's exactly what he did. So anyways, throughout the show, Kingsley was down. He went to go meet up with Lucius. Lucius was so grateful. Kingsley, met up with Lucius twice. The first time, Lucius was so grateful that he decided to come and have a sit down with him and just try to talk about whatever. And because before the sit down, when Kingsley showed up to the Empire, Lucius paid Kingsley's mom a visit to basically tell her, look, we had our thing. I would appreciate if you stop lying to your son about what happened. You never told me that he was pregnant. You just told me the story of you showing up, yada, 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 all that, whatever. So this meeting, Kingsley come to meet up with Lucius, he's just trying to, he wearing his little recording device, and he's trying to get Lucius to say something to incriminate himself. He's asking the wrong questions. And Lucius immediately noticed what he's doing and tell Kingsley he has something he needs to tend to. And he called Thirsty back in and tell Thirsty that he believes Kingsley is working for the FBI because he's asking him how he funded the trust tour and etc, etc, etc. Moving on, like I said, they met twice. The second meeting was a come to Jesus meeting with someone who has daddy issues. You know what I'm saying? Lucius pretty much laid it all out on the line. Told him what it was. I never did crack with your mom. In a sense, I thought I was protecting her because what I was selling was not, harmful as what all the other cats on the streets were selling. I thought that if she did my product, she'll be okay. But somewhere along the line, she got strung out, which is my fault. He took full responsibility. He also went as far as to say one thing that he'll never be guilty of is supporting his children and loving his children. So Kingsley came clean, gave him the device, yada, yada, yada. So Kingsley kind of proving that he's a lane at this point in time. Am I right? What I forgot to mention about the whole Cookie and Damon Cross situation, Cookie's sister Carolyn, later on in the show, told Cookie Lucius called because she used Carolyn as an excuse to why she was leaving out the house or whatever about meeting up with Carolyn about something. So excuse me. So she basically tell Cookie, and I believe like I said, Cookie did cut it off with Damon Cross, but she told Cookie like, the way you moving is how you lose your husband. Essentially that's what she told her. She was like, the way you moving is exactly how you lose your husband. I just want to throw that in there because I just did. So yada 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 yada. So this episode, Terry, the episode starts off in church. Cookie, Lucius attend church service with Terry. They basically is asking the congregation to pray for Andre, that he makes a full, healthy, speedy recovery. You know how us church folk do it. They ask about all of that. So anyways, Terry and Andre have a conversation later about God. And, Terry is very religious. And Andre tells her that basically he's not saying he doesn't believe in God, but he kind of ignoring God because God took his wife, God took his son, God allowed this sickness to intake his body. God has done all of these things. And I felt like that could have been a church moment in this episode. That's when she should have said, God has been clawing to get your attention. And you just continuously keep running. How? Now that I say that out loud, it would not surprise me if Andre somehow becomes a pastor, a preacher on the show. Because when I just said that, it really made me realize that Andre running from God. Like, he took his son, he took his wife, he put this illness in his body, and he did this, he did, like, he had a whole list of what he was blaming God for, and I was just like, you haven't responded to God yet. You haven't just dropped down and gave up yourself to say, you are bigger than me. What is it that you are trying to get me to see? What are you trying to tell me, God? He has yet to do that. So I wouldn't be surprised if they write Andre in as becoming a preacher or whatever in this show. And that would be very interesting. Then they can do a spinoff. You know what I'm saying? How the lion takes the pulpit, but still out there in the jungle killing and stealing. That'll be a great spinoff. But anyways, so I want to note that because, you know, she is not going to give up on him in his developing a relationship with God. She is like, I'm not going to give up, but I'll drop it for now. You know, a God-fearing woman, that's exactly what she is. Also, to end the show, I'm finna wrap up the review real quick. After Lucius proved that he was definitely Lucius' son not Lucius, but Kingsley, proved that he is definitely a lion by letting Lucius know he was wearing a device, etc., etc. Lucius shows up to the family dinner with him, and of course, Cookie, aggravating self, has a problem with it. She goes as far as to say, I like to be, consulted with about who's joining her dinner table, and he just looking at her the whole time. And the whole time, I'm just sitting there, well, you must have forgot how Andre tried to blow the both of you guys up to inherit the company. Like, Lucius did say at the table, there has been a point in time when he has had to forgive each and every person at that table for something that they have done towards him. But they are family, and I agree with that 1,000% because the only one I can really remember is Andre blowing them up. I can't really remember anything that Jamal or Hakeem did, but it's that, you know, they have done something. So saying all that to say Lucius is right, but you know, he bring Kingsley and Cookie aggravating stuff. She finally shuts up because she just, I don't know, she just worked my nerves. I can't stand Cookie, but that's me, you know. But yeah, man, other than that, that's pretty much the show. The show ends with the FBI basically shutting down the tour, saying that they are searching for drugs, that Lucius is using the tour to smuggle drugs across the U.S., etc., etc. So that's pretty much it. If if I miss anything, y'all let me know. But everybody be sure to subscribe, like, comment, and share, and I'm going. Peace.